Hello again, Year 10. It's Mr. Hall here with your first guide to the exam question that I've set you for homework this week on the medical renaissance. So I'm going to do my best to whiz through this in no more than 5 minutes. Okay, so you're being asked to explain what it was about 15 to 1700 that sort of made it so we have all these medical changes and discoveries, really. So the key to the question is the word improve. Okay, so whatever you talk about or discuss, you must make a really big effort to explain how it was an improvement on what came before. Okay, so with that being said, let's get straight in. Okay, so point number one of the reasons without doubt that we have an improvement is the printing press. Okay, the printing press was invented by a guy called Johannes Gutenberg in 1430, and it really allows you to publish your ideas and your books without having to go through the church. If you remember, in the Middle Ages, you would have to approach monks in a monastery, and they would actually have to agree, first of all, to print your work or to write your work. And if they did, they would write a handful of copies. The printing press is like hitting share on Facebook. Okay, it means that you can get your idea out to hundreds and hundreds of people all across Europe. And without the printing press, it is really unlikely that people like Vesalius and Harvey could have got their ideas to such a wide audience. Number two, Thomas Sydenham. So Thomas Sydenham is somebody who is a little bit different. He advocates a really sort of scientific approach to medicine in a time where it was kind of seen that your humours are imbalanced, and it was as simple as that's why you were ill. Your illness was sort of individual to you. Sydenham said, no, what we need to do is we need to observe the patient, we need to observe the symptoms, record the symptoms, and actually we can start to categorise different illnesses. He did this famously. He was able to differentiate between measles and scarlet fever. He wrote a big treatise on gout. He was a real expert, and he often thought that doctors did more harm than good, and you could maybe compare that to some of the quack doctors in the Middle Ages and some of the crazy cures. So Sydenham, a much more rational doctor who's challenging the ideas of Galen and Hippocrates, even though we call him the English Hippocrates. So you have to sort of bear that in mind. Number three, the Royal Society, a really key one. In the Middle Ages, the attitude really was that you just don't challenge what you're told. You respect the church because at the end of the day, they're the authority. They're the ones who ultimately decide the fate of your soul. So who are you to question them on anything, let alone medicine? And in 1660 especially, when this Royal Society forms, there's a whole new attitude. Now there is a bunch of scientists who want to challenge the world, who want to rediscover ideas, and remember their motto, which meant take nobody's word for it. And so we had people like Richard Lower doing blood transfusions, Anton von Leeuwenhoek with his microscopes, a real age of discovery. And that really was just a total contrast to the Middle Ages. Number four, William Harvey. Okay, a huge improvement. This was a man who was really kind of devoted to study of the heart. He took great umbrage with Galen's notion that the heart was involved in consuming blood, and that there were two cycles of blood around the body. And he decided to sort of vivisect lizards to find out what really happened inside the body. And Harvey was able to prove that the heart pumped blood around the body in a circular motion, his circulation theory. He corrected so many of Galen's sort of theories on this, really, that should be quite an easy paragraph to write, I think. Number five, Vesalius. Vesalius in 1543, his famous book, he starts it all, really. He's the earliest of all of these, isn't he? And he encourages doctors to dissect. He illegally dissects. Don't tell his story, get to his importance. Okay, the importance being that he, through his dissection, is able to correct over 200 of Galen's mistakes, including the fact that there were no holes in the septum of the heart, including the fact that there were only one bone in the jaw and that the kidneys were level, not as, again, said one was above the other. So the importance of Vesalius and knowledge improvement is accurate anatomy of the body and encouraging doctors to dissect, which of course wasn't allowed in the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, you had to watch a doctor doing the dissections, and you just sort of, took notes, so to speak. Lastly, I wouldn't really make notes on this one. I just added it on to make the graphic look nice. Alongside the printing press, this new wave of artists are around. People like Leonardo da Vinci, the famous ones. It was quite common for rich people to have an artist, a patron who they would pay and keep on the books. And these artists therefore became more of a profession, and they became better, and they were able to draw with more precision, more mathematical sort of dynamics in their work. So when it came to Harvey and Vesalius's works, they were able to draw really, really sort of accurate diagrams to illustrate what they were saying. Okay, that's 6 minutes, but you've definitely got 2 or 3 things to write. Remember, a 12-mark question. Try and aim for 3 points. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Bye-bye.